Hello again, everyone. Edwin Leonard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about Uranus and conjunct Pluto in the natal chart. Now, some of you may remember when I first started my YouTube astrology channel, I did a series on the aspects in the natal chart. They're a little bit concise. Some people may refer to them as snappy, so what I decided to do was make another series on them in which the videos would be a little bit longer and more descriptive. So anyway, first thing up is if you have Uranus in conjunct Pluto in the natal chart, one way it may manifest and pan out is that an adjustment, which is the inconjunct, may be needed between goals and aspirations and what you have an intense passion and desire for, which is Pluto. Goals and aspirations is Uranus, of course. One or the other may be overemphasized. The key is to find balance and equilibrium between the two. So what could happen is you could be dominated by your goals and aspirations to the expense of what you have that intense passion and desire for, or it could be the other way around. It could be the things you have, that strong passion and desire for, may monopolize your time and energy to the expense of your goals and aspirations. So again, the key is to find balance, harmony, and equilibrium with the energy, because there could be strong vacillation and distortion with this energy when you're talking about an inconjunct aspect, excuse me, in astrology. So, let's say, for example, if Uranus is in Pisces, goals and aspirations may be tied in with poetry, dancing, photography, helping the less fortunate. It could be doing something with anesthesiology, chemistry, illusions, special effects, spirituality, or the metaphysical, which includes astrology. So, another way this aspect may be expressed in the natal chart is that there may be an imbalance, which is the inconjunct aspect between matters with friends, which is Uranus, and intimate connections, which is Pluto. You may be dominated by one or the other. So what could happen is you may emphasize your friendships, which is Uranus, to the expense or exclusion of intimate connections at times, or it could be the other way around, where the intimate connections, and even those you may be in shared resources scenarios, again, which is Pluto, may dominate and monopolize your time to the expense of your friendships. So again, it's about finding the balance, the harmony, and the equilibrium with the energy. If, let's say, for example, if you have your Pluto in Virgo, intimate connections, one or more may actually be a Virgo sun, moon, or ascendant person, or simply embody the characteristics of the sign. It could be those that are very analytical, punctilious with details, organized, scrupulous, ethical, those that are industrious, fastidious. It could be people too that are judgmental, critical, and cynical as well. Also, too, another way this aspect may manifest in the natal chart is that there may be too much or too little inspiration, which is Uranus, for the things you have a strong passion and desire for, which is Pluto. If let's say if Pluto is it's in Virgo in the 5th house, the things you have the strong passion and desire for may be analytical, intellectual, amusement, and enjoyment. It could be extrapolating sports data. Pluto in Libra in the 7th house is another example. They have a very intense passion and desire for balanced competition, whether it would be say tennis or gymnastics as an example, because those sports are connected with balance. If you're, let's say, if you have Pluto in Sagittarius in the 10th house, the things you have intense passion and desire for may be Sagittarius career-related matters. It could be doing something, publishing, advertising, printing, press operation, religion, sports, the outdoors. And another thing, too, about this aspect is that friendships, which is Uranus, may either be very beneficial or no help whatsoever in making a major change or transformation, which is Pluto. So at times, friendships may be very involved and really try to help if you need to make some kind of major change or transformation. Other times, they just may be simply oblivious and apathetic in those matters. So let's say, for example, if Pluto is in your 12th house in your natal chart, it might be transformation at the spiritual level. Pluto in the first house could be some transformation in the appearance or physical body. As another example, Pluto in the 9th house might be like a religious or philosophical transformation, as some examples. And another way this aspect may be expressed is that it can either be exceptionally easy at times or exceptionally difficult in terms of incorporating innovation and ingenuity, which is Uranus, in matters with could be forensics, embalming, surgery, or the occult, which includes astrology, which is Pluto, or even in expressing that even in your intimate connections or shared resources situation, which is Pluto as well. So there may be times when you may easily be able to express ingenuity in those matters, and there may be other times where it just may be extremely difficult in doing so. So again, when you have inconjuncts in astrology, again, it's a lot of the vacillation, distortion of energy. Now, another thing about this aspect in the natal chart, it may also be extremely easy or hard in terms of expressing selflessness and altruism, which is Uranus, in your intimate connections and shared resources situations, which is Pluto. The thing is, let's say if you have let's say Pluto, is in the 5th house, it might be a shared resources situation that might involve a child or someone you're in a romantic connection with. Pluto in the 4th house. Maybe a shared resources scenario that involves a home, a family member, or someone you're simply close to home with. Another way this aspect may be expressed in the natal chart is that groups, clubs, and organizations, which is Uranus, may be either exceptionally helpful or very apathetic in terms of dealing with crisis situations, which is Pluto. Now, if you have Pluto in the 3rd house as an example, you may often be involved in crisis situations that involve a neighbor. It could be a sibling or a cousin. Pluto in the 6th house may be more related to a health-related crisis or something, that involves work or employment, or an aunt or an uncle in some instances. And another way Uranus in conjunct Pluto may be expressed in the natal chart is that at times it may be exceptionally easy to get loans and support, which is Pluto, in matters pertaining to one's future, which is Uranus. And other times it may be extremely difficult. Again, you have a lot of fluctuation and vacillation with inconjunct aspects in astrology. And the thing is, if Uranus, say, is an Aquarius in your natal chart, the future may be tied in with humanitarian, altruistic endeavors, may be associated with astrology, computers, electronics, innovation, aviation, meteorology, or even rocket science in some cases. If Uranus is an Aries, as another example, the future may be associated with doing something pioneering, or maybe connected with the military. It could be arson investigation, law enforcement, doing something with combat sports, whether it be karate, boxing, judo, wrestling, as some examples. If Say if Uranus is in Capricorn is another example. That future may be tied in business, the government, politics, information technology, accounting, dentistry, masonry, or timekeeping as some examples. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Lerner saying, stay well.